Daniel Negreanu just shattered the fantasy of high-stakes poker. You see the giant cashes, the seven-figure wins, but according to Negreanu, it's all a lie. Behind the million-dollar headlines, players are bleeding money, and the so-called biggest winners, they might actually be losing. Stick around because Negreanu suggests how the average player should approach tournament poker. Daniel Negreanu isn't just some old-school pro with a big mouth. He's a 7-time WSOP bracelet winner, 2-time WPT champion, over $55 million in live tournament earnings. For over 25 years, Negreanu has been a face of poker, from the online boom to the golden era of televised poker to the brutal high roller scene today. He's played every format, against every legend, in every corner of the poker world. So when Daniel Negreanu says the high stakes scene is broken, it's not coming from jealousy, it's coming from experience. And what he just revealed about the truth behind high-stakes poker might change how you see the entire game. On the surface, high-stakes tournaments look like a dream. You see names like Daniel Negreanu, Jason Koon, and Justin Bonomo cashing for millions. Bright lights, giant checks, headlines screaming about record-breaking payouts. But Daniel says it's all smoke and mirrors. In the late 1990s, playing a full tournament schedule might cost you around $250,000 a year. That was considered elite. Fast forward to today, and that number has ballooned to over $12 million annually, just in buy-ins. And that's before you even think about flights, hotels, taxes, or the endless grind of travel. To even have a fighting chance, a player needs to cash huge, consistently. Imagine this, you win a $2 million first prize at a super high roller. After media interviews and champagne celebrations, you're hailed as a genius. But behind the scenes, that $2 million barely covers half your yearly tournament entries. You still owe backers, you still cover travel, you still pay taxes, and worst of all, one single bad stretch can erase it all. Negreanu called it what it really is, a mirage. The gross cashes look glamorous, but the net reality, most players are barely treading water or drowning completely. If you think tournament winnings tell the whole story, think again. Daniel broke down a dirty little secret most fans never hear about. Almost nobody in high rollers is risking their own full buy-in anymore. Players sell action, they swap percentages with other players, they spread out risk to survive the insane variance. Here's how it works. A player might sell 70% of their tournament entries to investors and other pros. That means when they win $1 million, they don't actually take home $1 million. They pocket just $300,000, and that's before taxes, before expenses, and before makeup if they are stuck from previous tournaments. Worse yet, public databases like Hendon Mob only show gross cashes, so when a player finishes second in a $250,000 buy-in event, the headlines scream, Player X wins $2.1 million. But the truth? They might have sold most of their action and barely profited, or even lost money after covering buy-ins across the year. Daniel pointed out that this distortion creates a false image of success. Fans see players with massive lifetime earnings, thinking they are millionaires. But in reality, many are one downswing away from broke. It is not just about winning anymore. It is about surviving the financial bloodbath behind the scenes. High rollers were not always the centerpiece of poker. In the early 2000s, the biggest tournaments in the world were the World Series of Poker Main Event and the World Poker Tour Stops. Buy-ins ranged from $5,000 to $10,000, still massive, but reachable for top players and serious amateurs. Then came the super high roller boom. Around 2008 to 2010, private businessmen and elite grinders started organizing special events with buy-ins of $100,000, $200,000, even $500,000. Televised events like the big one for one drop only added fuel to the fire. High roller circuits became their own universe, a closed-off world where the same 50 to 100 players traveled city to city, country to country, chasing six-figure and seven-figure scores. For a while it worked. There were sponsorships, TV deals, massive fanfare, but as Daniel warns now, the costs quietly crept up faster than the profits. What started as a way to create poker's biggest prizes slowly turned into a treadmill almost nobody could get off without falling behind. In the old days, skill had more time to shine, deep structures, long blind levels. If you played better than your opponents, it showed over the course of the tournament. Today's high roller events, they are built for speed, 30-minute levels, starting stacks that look deep but shrink quickly. Turbo formats designed to fit entire tournaments into 2 or 3 days, perfect for content, brutal for skill edges. Daniel explained how these new structures jack up the variance to dangerous levels. Even the best players in the world, guys like Steven Chidwick, Adrian Mateos, Jason Kuhn, can play perfect poker and still bust out early again and again. It is no longer about grinding a small edge over many hours. It is about flipping coins and winning all-ins at the right time. Imagine working all year, playing your absolute best, traveling the globe to chase tournaments, and then realizing that whether you cash or go broke often comes down to a coin flip with ace-king against pocket queens. Daniel made it clear, high-stakes poker today is not just about who plays the best, it is about who runs the best, and in a world where the buy-ins are six figures, running bad can mean losing millions. Daniel Negreanu is not just commenting from the sidelines, he lived it. In the year 2023, Negreanu's results look solid on the surface. He cashed for millions. He made deep runs in major high roller events. But when the year was over and all the numbers were counted, he finished down over $2 million. Not $2 million in buy-ins, $2 million in actual losses. Even after selling pieces, even after playing the best poker of his life, variance and tournament structures crushed him. For a player with sponsorships, side income, and deep pockets, it was survivable. For most others, it would have been career-ending. Fast forward to 2025 and the story looks different. Daniel snagged 2 huge high roller wins early in the year. He picked up trophies, headlines, and massive payouts. But even with these victories, Negreanu himself cautioned fans not to be fooled. 2 wins can erase years of bad runs, but they do not erase the risks that led there. He knows that in this arena, no hot streak lasts forever. Today, you are on top of the world. Tomorrow, you are busting out first level, wondering how it all went wrong. That is the brutal reality Daniel wants fans to understand. In the world of high-stakes poker, even legends are just one downswing away from disaster. When Daniel Negreanu speaks, the poker world listens, and this time, his words sparked a wave of reactions across the high-stakes scene. Some players, like Adrian Mateos and Sam Greenwood, openly agreed with him. They admitted that the modern high roller circuit is brutal. Greenwood even pointed out that without careful bankroll management and selling action, it is almost impossible to survive long-term. Other pros, though, pushed back. They argued that variance has always been a part of tournament poker, and that the high roller boom simply magnified it. Some said the top players still have edges, just smaller ones that demand even greater mental strength to navigate. But whether they agreed fully or not, there was one thing nobody denied. Today's high-stakes environment is far more punishing than most fans realize. The days of slow skill-driven dominance are long gone. In the high roller streets, it is survival of the luckiest. If the high roller scene is so brutal, why do players keep coming back? Daniel Negreanu touched on a truth that cuts deeper than bankroll charts or variance graphs. It is the emotional trap. When you buy into a $100,000 tournament, you are not just playing for money. You are chasing life-changing scores. The dream of banking $2 million in a single night. The fantasy of cementing your legacy with one giant win. And once you are in that mindset, walking away feels impossible. Even after brutal losses, players convince themselves they are due. Even after a losing year, they feel just one win away from turning it all around. It is the sunk cost fallacy, poker edition. The more you invest, the harder it becomes to leave. You tell yourself the next buy-in will fix everything, and so the cycle continues, tournament after tournament, city after city, until either fortune smiles on you or the bankroll runs dry. Another layer most fans never see, sponsorships. Big-name pros like Daniel Negreanu do not just rely on tournament winnings to stay afloat. They have deals with major poker sites. Daniel, for example, is sponsored by GG Poker. That partnership provides steady income, enough to weather downswings that would destroy a self-funded player. And he is not alone. Many high rollers supplement their earnings through endorsements, coaching businesses, and brand deals. On the surface, it looks like they are crushing every event they play. In reality, the tournament results alone might not be paying the bills. This creates a false narrative for casual fans. When you see a player posing with a 7-figure payout, you assume they are printing money. But behind the scenes, sponsorship dollars are often the real safety net. Daniel's warning is simple. Do not confuse being a great poker player with being financially secure. In today's high-stakes world, the two are no longer the same thing. Daniel Negreanu's career tells the full story of how poker, and the business behind it, has changed. In the late 1990s, he made his name grinding mid-stakes tournaments and cash games. He was known for reading opponents, adjusting quickly, and thriving in deep structured games where skill could shine. As poker exploded after 2003, Daniel evolved. He became a TV star. He built a brand. He stayed relevant while hundreds of other names from the early boom faded away. In the 2010s, he embraced a new era of super high rollers. He started traveling the circuit, playing $100,000 and $250,000 events against the best in the world. For a while, he kept up, even thriving at times. But as the variance increased, the structures sped up, and the fields got tougher, Daniel made another adjustment. He became more selective. Instead of playing every massive buy-in event, he started picking his spots carefully. He balanced high rollers with mixed games, televised events, and appearances that leveraged his brand without risking endless millions at the tables. Daniel's journey proves that surviving in poker today is not just about playing better. It is about evolving smarter, knowing when to push, when to pull back, and when to change the entire game you are playing. You might be thinking, if you are not playing $100,000 buy-ins, why does this matter? Because the fantasy of high-stakes poker does not just affect the top 1%, it filters down. Every time a fan sees a highlight reel of million-dollar wins, it feeds the myth that poker is a fast track to fame and fortune. Every time a recreational player watches a final table with six-figure payouts, it fuels unrealistic dreams about beating the game with a little luck and a good run. But Daniel Negreanu's message is a cold reminder. Even at the very top, where the best players in the world battle every day, the money is brutal, the variance is savage, and the margins are razor thin. The truth is that poker has never been about quick riches. It is a lifestyle that demands insane emotional control, bankroll discipline, and constant reinvention. If you chase the dream without understanding the reality, you are walking straight into a nightmare. And as Negreanu himself shows, even the biggest legends are not immune. What do you think? Are high rollers still the ultimate test of skill? Or just an expensive gamble dressed up in bright lights? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Daniel has not just been exposing the poker world, he has also been clashing with Justin Bonomo over everything from ethics to tournament deals. If you think the high roller world is ruthless at the tables, wait until you hear what they are saying about each other off the felt. Stay tuned, that story is coming next.